Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of our podcast. I'm Jack, and I'm so glad you're here with me. Today, we're diving into a powerful topic: how we, as parents and caregivers, can help our children grow up with confidence, resilience, and kindness. Parenting in today's world can feel overwhelming. Society and peer pressure often send confusing messages to our kids about who they should be. So today, I'll be sharing insights on how to foster a loving and open environment that supports our children as they navigate these challenges, encouraging them to be the best, most authentic versions of themselves. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Segment 1: Fostering Self-Acceptance and Confidence. Let's start with self-acceptance and confidence. These two traits lay the foundation for a resilient, well-adjusted individual. When kids feel accepted for who they are, they're less likely to look for validation from others and more likely to have a grounded sense of self-worth. How can we as parents foster this? Well, one key approach is to value our kids' unique interests and characteristics. Maybe your child loves art, sports, math, or has a quirky sense of humor. Whatever it is, recognize and encourage it. This doesn't mean forcing them into activities they're not interested in. Instead, celebrate who they are and encourage them to pursue what they enjoy. Another great way to build confidence is by modeling it ourselves. Kids are incredibly perceptive, and they pick up on our attitudes toward ourselves. So when we show confidence in our decisions, own our mistakes, and practice self-compassion, we're giving them permission to do the same. Finally, communication is key. Make space for open, judgment-free conversations. Ask them about their day, listen without interrupting, and validate their feelings. When kids know they can come to us, they're less likely to bottle up emotions or second-guess themselves. Segment 2: Navigating Social Influences and Peer Pressure. 5 minutes. Now, let's talk about navigating social influences and peer pressure. Two huge aspects of growing up that can deeply impact self-identity. Today's kids are constantly exposed to messages through social media, friends, and school environments that can either build them up or tear them down. As parents, one of the best things we can do is to prepare them to handle these influences with a strong sense of self. Encourage critical thinking. Ask questions that prompt them to reflect, like, why do you think that's popular? Or do you feel the same way? By helping them think critically, they become less susceptible to pressure to fit in and more able to stand by their values. It's also important to discuss the concept of fitting in versus belonging. Fitting in is about changing yourself to be accepted by others, while belonging is about being accepted for who you are. Teaching kids that true friendships don't require them to change is powerful. If they're facing peer pressure, let them know it's okay to set boundaries and say no. Kids need to understand that their comfort and self-respect come first, and that it's perfectly okay not to go along with something that doesn't feel right. Next up is building emotional intelligence and resilience. Two skills that will serve our children throughout their lives. Emotional intelligence helps kids understand their feelings and those of others, while resilience helps them bounce back from setbacks. Start by helping your child recognize and name their emotions. For example, if they seem frustrated, you might say, "It seems like you're feeling frustrated. Want to talk about it?" Naming emotions can take away some of their power and help kids process them more effectively. Teach them coping strategies for when things go wrong. For instance, if they're feeling upset, they could try deep breathing, counting to 10, or even talking to a trusted friend or adult. Resilience isn't about never failing. It's about learning from failure and moving forward. One of the best ways to teach resilience is by letting kids experience small failures in a supportive environment. Let them make mistakes and learn from the consequences, and be there to encourage them afterward. Remind them that failure is just a stepping stone to success, and it's how we learn and grow. Finally, let's talk about fostering open-mindedness and acceptance. The world is full of diverse people and perspectives, and teaching our children to embrace differences is one of the greatest gifts we can give them. As parents, we can model acceptance by showing kindness and respect toward people from all walks of life. Talk to your kids about diversity and explain that everyone has their own strengths and struggles. Encourage them to see the beauty in others' uniqueness. You might even invite them to share stories about their friends or classmates who are different from them and what they admire about them. This creates a positive, open-minded attitude that will make them more compassionate and understanding adults. Ultimately, open-mindedness isn't just about accepting others. It's also about being open to discovering new things about themselves. Encourage them to keep exploring, learning, and growing. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Let's quickly recap. We talked about fostering self-acceptance and confidence, preparing kids to navigate social influences, building emotional intelligence and resilience, and encouraging open-mindedness and acceptance. All of these are vital tools that will help our kids grow up happy, grounded, and ready to face whatever life throws their way. Remember, parenting is a journey. Don't worry about getting everything perfect. Just keep showing up with love, understanding, and patience. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with anyone who might find it helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to reach out on social media contact info. Until next time, take care and keep building that loving, supportive environment for your kids.